scattered dream that's like a far-off memory. A far-off memory that's like a scattered dream. I think it's time I line the pieces up. Hers and mine. What's going on, everybody? My name is Ronan Lockhart, and this is Hip Style Gaming. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day, evening? Daylight savings time has got my schedule all screwed up, guys, so please bear with me. But moral of the story, hope you guys are having a good week so far. Hopefully having a good month. I don't know about you guys, but 2020 has not been the year for me. Matter of fact, before I actually get into this video, I would like to take this time to kind of open up and personally apologize to all of my subscribers. I know I've been away from my channel for quite an extensive amount of time, and I won't lie, guys, I'm going to be completely black and white with you guys, just like I always am on my channel. 2020 has been kicking my ass. I'm going to be completely real with you. You know when you're playing like a video game, let's say like Marvel or Street Fighter, or you're new to the video game and you're playing your friend, and you only know like one or two combos on the controller, while he knows the whole controller in and out, even how to, you know what I mean? I'm the friend, and 2020 is the professional. I'm getting my ass kicked, or at least it was kicking my ass, guys. I lost 4 family members within 1 year. Was on the verge of being homeless again for a good amount of time, and yeah, a whole bunch of other stuff. While there has been bad stuff, there has been a lot of good stuff that has also happened too. So yin and yang, right? But the point is that I'm back, guys. I thank you all who stayed subscribed to my channel, and I promise not to leave you guys like that again. With 2021 coming up, there's a lot of things I want to bring to the Kingdom Hearts community, a lot of things that I want to bring to the light into the Kingdom Hearts community, and that is what this video is here for today, guys. This is something I've been speculating for a while now, and yeah, it's about to blow a lot of minds, okay? If you are new to the channel, please leave a like and subscribe to help the channel keep going. I'm also accepting donations now to help the channel kind of flourish a little bit better. I don't know if you guys can hear it or can tell compared to my other videos, but I have a different mic now, so I'm having a little bit of a better quality sound, and yeah, I just sound devilishly handsome on this mic. You hear that? You guys hear how clear this sounds? It's crazy, right? And I'm getting ahead of myself, so like and subscribe. Time for the theory. Go. So one thing we can all agree is that Kingdom Hearts is probably the most, or if not the most, then damn near the closest to it, complicated thing on this planet. I mean, this story is taking a left turn, right turn, turn at the light, bust a U-turn, go back to the store, you forgot the ointment, take my gun with you. You guys get the picture. Insane, right? Especially seeing as how sweet and innocent it started off. One game I'm fighting a deck of cards, in Alice in Wonderland. Next game I'm fighting an evil dictator trying to turn everybody into a nobody. Nobody wants to be a nobody. Third game we're fighting the evil dictator who turns out to be the deck of cards great-grandparent, and okay, I'm taking it too far. But the point is, this game has gotten so crazy, and yet it keeps getting crazier. But the theory that I have today will shatter crazy and reality itself. Ready? Hold on your hats, because it's time to reveal Kingdom Hearts. So with Melody of Memories being out, a lot of us have been led to believe that we have solved the missing mystery of Sora. But we gotta remember something. This isn't reality we're dealing with. No, it's not. This is Tetsuya Nomura. And there's always more than meets the eye with that guy. And we know that by now. Major Melody of Memories spoilers, by the way. So if you haven't seen it, leave now. Otherwise, you're on your own. But it has been revealed Riku, Kairi, and Fairy Godmother have gotten the drop on where Sora is thanks to Nameless Star, who has been revealed to indeed be the girl from Verum Rex, Yazora's neck of the woods. Pretty much his Kairi, at least it seems. So Nameless Star reveals to them that Sora may be in Quadratum, or Verum Rex, and instantly everyone jumped to it and stuck like, okay, Sora's in Verum Rex, that'll be the next title, etc. But guys, we overlooked some things that I want to show that proves that may not be accurate, or at least 100% accurate. Number one, and the most obvious, is the cutscene of Sora waking up, in Shibuya, represented by the 104 building, to match the 109 building in real life. But Nameless Star said that quadratum, okay? She said quadratum, but if you really pay attention to how she said it as if she was making a suggestion merely, not necessarily that he is 100% there. She would have instantly guessed quadratum only because she is from quadratum, so in other words, she would hear big buildings and of course would instantly think, oh, that's my city has big buildings, that has to be quadratum, but that definitely wasn't quadratum that Sora and Yozora met in, at least in that cutscene. Because if you pay attention to the dialogue of Yozora and Sora's conversation during that scene, Yozora says, I've stumbled here a couple of times through trials, or something along the lines of that, indicating that he isn't from there, meaning that they're not in quadratum. So what would this mean for Riku going there? Well, it only means that Riku got a clue onto where Sora was. So in other words, this might stretch out for a good period of time. We might get Verum Rex 1, 2, Verum X Chain of Memories, who knows? But it's not necessarily saying he's exactly in quadratum, okay? I can see it going like this. Riku goes to quadratum, maybe encounters, Yozora and, or maybe Yozora's associates in quadratum. Maybe they're separated from Yozora at the time. He encounters his associates, starts asking them questions, and they prompt and bring him to Yozora, and then, Yozora and Riku interact, and, who knows how it's gonna go. But I can see it being something along the lines of that, which would really spark a really big fire in the Kingdom Hearts story. That'd be very interesting. Just for Riku to be traveling around with everybody, maybe seeing Luke's sword, like, what the hell, what are you doing here? Oh, this where you're from? And coming to find out that Yozora and his gang are the ones responsible for, Sora getting hurt. Yeah, Riku would be pissed. But the main question then would be, if Sora isn't there in quadratum, then where exactly is he? And what would this mean for the future Kingdom Hearts series? Well, guys, brace yourself. Because the answer I have, well, it's not really a settling one, and a lot of you might be like, yeah, okay, bullshit. Sora, you ready for this? Is in our world, reality, the real world. I mean, us, guys. Now, I know a lot of you are looking like, nigga, what? But, guys, let me show you the evidence, okay? Number one, the cover of Kingdom Hearts 3. Beautiful, right? Now, one thing that always stood out to me was the clock tower in the back, and upon doing a little bit of digging, I found out that there's a very similar looking clock tower just like the one from the front of the Kingdom Hearts 3 cover art in Shibuya, Tokyo. It's actually called the NTT Docomo Yoyogi building. You guys can look it up on Google. I'll place a picture right here. But when I say it looks spot on, I mean it looks spot on, guys. Like, there's no knocking it. You can tell, even the little things on the side, the way the window is, or the windows, it looks spot on, so why would this building be on the cover of Kingdom Hearts 3? Is Nomura trying to tell us something? Then other minor details would be the fact that Disney exists in our world and plays a heavy role in Kingdom Hearts, but that's only scratching the surface. Let's get a bit deeper, okay? So another piece of evidence is found in Melody of Memory. The cutscene when they're going over Kairi's memories and what she found, Vexen says that Sora is somewhere not of light or darkness, but somewhere on the other side. Now, this is perplexing, but not really to us, but to them. But it's only perplexing to them because they are only familiar with their terms and their world, light realm, the realm of light, the realm of darkness, etc. It kind of be as if, our world, we're mainly familiar with Earth, Mars, Jupiter, etc. The sun, the moon, that's our world. That's our world, and our rules, our laws, our, just like with them, realm of light, realm of darkness, that's Kingdom Hearts talk. That's their science, They wouldn't be able to comprehend that Sora has left the video game world and went to the real world, aka our world. They wouldn't be able to comprehend that they are video game characters. You see what I mean? It'd be the equivalent to somebody, aliens or something, coming down to us and telling us, hey, you guys are in a video game Matrix world, you're the main character, and we'd be looking at them like, bro, you're doing some really good drugs, The next piece of evidence is when he goes on to say, your voice can't reach us. I'm certain where your heart is. Why wouldn't his voice be able to reach? Well, think about it with your mind out the box for a minute, guys. Because he's in our world, it'd be as if he's playing the game. It'd be the equivalent to us playing our video game and talking to the game screen, you know, maybe when we're losing, yelling at the game screen, knowing damn well they can't hear us. You follow me? We've seen something like this before with Nomura when he made pretty much our players from Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, you know, the mobile phone game. He made it canon to the story, because I mean, that doesn't complicate shit enough already, you know, so they wouldn't be able to comprehend this because this is something even beyond their understanding. Kingdom Hearts is already complicated, okay? But to find out that this whole time you've been nothing but a video game character in a game franchise, think about the mental break that could cause to someone, and boom, enters Sora being the Master of Masters. You see, this would explain how Sora became the Master of Masters. This would be that mental break. In my first video, I detailed that Kingdom Hearts was running on two separate timelines that were starting to interact with one another. Parallel universes, you could say. One where Sora goes on to be the Master of Masters, and the other would be the main one we've been playing. I initially said that the split of timelines happened in the Keyblade graveyard where you lose with the Devil Swarm, you know, where Riku's protecting you. I had figured that, you know, Riku was protecting Sora, and Sora losing everybody, including his best friend right before his eyes, was probably that snap that could have, you know, caused him to snap and lead into maybe turning to the dark side and becoming the Master of Masters. Now I realize that I may have been incorrect. The split happened actually when Sora met Yozora. Okay, listen to this. When Sora meets Yozora, notice how the audio changes when Yozora is far away versus from Sora, or when he gets closer to Sora, you know? It sounds as if he's speaking in a wall. Take a listen to this and listen very, very carefully.
Hello!
Hey.
Huh?
Hey.
Who's that?
Where are you?
Over here!
I see you.
You guys hear that? No? Okay. One more time and listen very, very carefully.
Hello!
Hey.
Huh?
Hey.
Who's that?
Where are you?
Over here!
I see you.
Doesn't it sound like Yozora is speaking behind some sort of wall? Why is that? Was that an audio error on Square Enix? I think not. I believe this was Sora breaking the fourth wall into our world. You see, Yozora was simply his guide to get there. That's why young Master Xehanort and everybody else was hinting up to that. You know, they were hinting up and leading Sora up to that because they knew that once Sora found out the truth of, you know, what everything was, is, you know, all hell would break loose, you know, maybe a bit further into detail. You see, Yozora defeating Sora would mean that the timeline of Kingdom Hearts would start over, thus giving Sora a chance to restart over completely in life. That would make sense why he says he feels like he's done this all before and everything seems so unreal, and this would also mean that he was still too weak to accept the truth at that moment when Yozora did kill him. That would explain what Yozora meant by save Sora. This would also shed a lot of light on why everything is centered around Sora because, well, you know, he's technically in a video game, you know, and he's the main character. So whoever controls Sora necessarily controls the whole video game. That's why the kingdom key came to him first, indicating and hinting that Sora is the key, okay? So Sora defeating Yozora in that point in time would mean that the timeline continues, and in fact Sora is strong enough and is ready to learn the truth, okay? This would explain why Yozora goes on to say when he loses, guess my powers aren't needed yet. Sora goes on to ask him, what do you mean? And Yozora says, never mind, almost as if he can't tell him because telling him might corrupt or break Sora, Sora learning the truth. And what truth exactly? The truth that his life exists nothing more than but in a video game. And where's this game taking place? Inside the black box that the Master of Masters has, the one that he gave to Luciu, his apprentice. Think about the way the black box looks for a second, okay? It's almost similar, if you really look at it, it's almost similar, kind of like an ancient day type of PlayStation 2. It's similar to a PlayStation 2, the same thing that Kingdom Hearts originated on, okay? So it would be like the Master, or rather Sora, an older Sora, he maybe, after his encounter with Yozora, he maybe ventured into Shibuya, the real world, learned of his true origins, where he's really from, and maybe returned back to his world, or found a way to return back to his world. Upon returning back to his world, he would try to replicate the PlayStation 2, and thus there would be the black box. Of course he wouldn't be able to get it right down to the punch. It would have some flaws. The creation can't 100% mimic its creator, in a way to speak at least. But the point is, that would explain why continuously using the power of waking was so dangerous, because you guys have to look at it like this. The power of waking, it's waking new knowledge as well, new heights, etc. That may be the price of not being able to return to that innocence that he had, not being able to return to those peaceful days with Kairi. And I mean, how would he? Upon waking up to the truth that his whole life is nothing more than a video game? This would explain the significance of Yozora being mentioned in Toy Story as well, because as we know in the Toy Story universe, humans are unaware that the toys are real, So it was kind of in a way foreshadowing Sora coming to find out that he's actually a video game character, The same way Buzz found out that he was just a toy in Toy Story.
You are a toy!
And that would, make sense why Sora was seeing Yozora in the Toy Story world, like it was foreshadowing everything, okay? As far as Yozora goes, I'm gonna go off on a whim that the scene we seen with him and Sora interacting was way later on in his story. In other words, the next Kingdom Hearts related game may be in fact a Verum Rex title, but it won't pick up from Kingdom Hearts 3 like we all may be thinking. It'll probably start from Yozora's beginning, telling his story and how it all led up to him meeting Sora, Proof of this is when Yozora wakes up, he was having a dream about encountering Sora. That's when Luke turned around to tell him, hey, Captain's beautiful, was it not? Or whatever he says, He was hinting that his Kingdom Hearts related story is about to begin. When he says, I've been having these weird thoughts lately, yeah, it's hinting. It's hinting his story is about to begin, similar to Sora's, That would also make sense on, why Luke is being his driver too. It's pretty much about to shed light on everything and lead up to, how Yozora wound up in Shibuya, how he wound up meeting Sora. Hey, maybe he might even discover I'm in a video game too, and hearing about, or he might hear about Sora's video game as well. And I would explain how, why he says, yeah, sure, I've heard of you. Maybe Verum Rex will be, Yozora's story will be something kind of opposite of Kingdom Hearts. You know how Kingdom Hearts, and Sora goes through the Disney universes. Well, maybe Verum Rex will take a more literal and serious sense, maybe traveling to the Final Fantasy universes. Maybe Yozora might actually travel, to Cloud's universe, that would explain Cloud's disappearance. Maybe he would actually travel to Cloud's universe, and maybe that's how he could learn about Sora. It's all up in the air right now, but that would be pretty crazy, right? So this would mean that Kingdom Hearts is taking place in the black box, which was created by the Master of Masters, aka Sora, to replicate the events of his life in hopes that a stronger version of himself, aka another video game version of himself, will arise in the video game and, maybe break the cycle or loop. And it would be safe to say that our Sora that we have been playing as is that version. That would explain why nobody can find the box as well, because they are actually inside of the box. How Lushu has the box is maybe they are outside of the box, when we see those cutscenes, because it would make sense why it's showing Lushu in the box at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 after he gets defeated by Sora and Riku and kind of just disappears, Maybe he just left outside of the box. Maybe that's why the Master disappeared, because he left outside of the box and nobody can find him. The same type of disappearance the Master has is very similar to the disappearance that Sora has. They both vanished without a trace, okay? Also, as mentioned earlier, when Yozora was speaking and it sounded like he was behind a wall or something, this might have been the moment when they both stepped out of their box, or their console, in a way to say. In other words, they both stepped out of their video game system. Like Sora came out of the PlayStation, or he came out of the Master of Masters version of the PlayStation, aka the black box. And hey, for all we know, maybe there's a black box in Yozora's world too. I mean, it is possible because, one, we do know that Luxord is looking for the black box, and it's kind of like, how would he know about it? Could he have maybe learned about it in the Kingdom Hearts world? Or was there already a black box located in his world that maybe went missing too? Okay? And two, if the Master of Masters is involved with Venom Rex, I'm willing to put my money on there being another black box. This would also explain the new game Ericus wants to play too. I can see it going along the lines of Sora teaming up with different versions of himself from other realities or universes, kind of like on some, Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse shit. With Miles Morales, that shit was tight, by the way, not gonna lie. But he teams up with the Master of Masters, learns the truth, accepts it, accepts that he's in a video game, that his, that's what it is, kind of the way Roxas had to accept it, and that'll just be what it is. But the real threat and the real villains would be Lushu and the Foretellers, at least on the Kingdom Hearts side. There might be some main villains brewing up, on the Venom Rex side. It might be something like, different versions of each other are interacting. The Foretellers have different versions of themselves in the other universes, so they're meeting, and that'd be a serious threat. They would be a threat because they might have learned the truth. Might not be keen on it. Like, oh, we're in a video game world. That's BS, Upon learning that they're in a video game world, they would ultimately try to control that world, and that would explain why Maleficent's looking for it too. In other words, whoever gets their hands on the black box, aka the PlayStation 2, aka the start of Kingdom Hearts, is going to ultimately control Kingdom Hearts. You have to look at it kind of like from a Matrix point of view. Whoever controls the Matrix controls the whole universe. Well, at least their world, because they could pretty much override it and make themselves into gods in a way, Sora would at this point be willing to fight as long as he would be able to be with Kairi. Even if he was in a video game, I could see Sora accepting it, Maybe the Master was trying to find a version of himself that would be able to accept it and break the cycle, because that would break it, All it would really take would be Sora just accepting that, this is just what it is, I'm in a video game and, this is my life, and, all he would have to do is really accept it. I mean, if you really remember, Roxas kind of went through the same thing, so, like I said, that foreshadowing, it might have been foreshadowing showing Sora, more than what he might have been ready to see, but at this point, Sora would be willing to fight as long as he could just be with Kairi. Even if he was in a video game, I could see Sora still accepting it. Like, hey, this is what it is, and yeah, that's just that. So yeah, guys, that's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, though. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to help the channel keep going. Feel free to leave your comments or leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And yeah, feel free to donate to the channel. I will leave the Cash App on screen or at the bottom. And until next time, guys, I've been Ronan Lockhart. I'll see you later. May your heart be your guiding key.